Alright guys, we're here and it's raining. So we ran like all the way from over there. Yeah, we're gonna hack in and we're gonna use their footage.
He's an idiot and we hate him.
Alright, what are we talking about today, Steve?
Corn.
Corn! Okay, let's just cut to the chase. We're talking about ethanol.
I'm not really sure how it ties into the Fcast.
Yeah, we hate corn.
We're the voice of skepticism. Ethanol is biomatter-based alcohol. Most ethanol in America is corn-based. Like it could be other wood chips,
biomatter,
starch, or sugar, which can then be distilled into ethanol, 200 proof alcohol. Like I've been like trolling the internet for days. Yeah. Not a whole lot of information. Some people are pro-ethanol, typically politicians and big oil.
And farmers.
The proponents of ethanol will say that ethanol is better for the environment because you grow it and it's a renewable source.
It's a full circle thing.
They're like, we don't want to import, gasoline from like our terroristic neighbors. Our cars currently really can't run it. So what we had to do is we blended it. So we have gasohol, which is 10% ethanol, 90% gasoline. I think by 2015, we have to be blending 15 billion gallons of ethanol into our fuel supply.
Wow.
It's like there's a timetable, and it's actually going up to 33 billion gallons of ethanol being blended into our fuel. If you were to burn ethanol, like even gasohol, in like a lawnmower, like I don't know if you've noticed, but you have to pretty much buy new lawnmowers all the time.
Well, and that's partially because there's like a lot of water in ethanol. It separates and then it like rots out your engine. They say enriched with 10% ethanol.
Yeah. First problem with ethanol, it is a negative energy.
Yeah.
It's like you take a gallon and a half of gasoline and you're able to produce a gallon of ethanol.
What is even the point of making ethanol then?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know. When we produce oil, we pipe it, which is very efficient. Ethanol, it has to be shipped in diesel vehicles, which can't run ethanol. So you're like using gasoline to transport ethanol.
Yeah.
We can't get to a point where we're running a society that is free of gasoline. The more ethanol we use, the more dependent on gasoline we are. 25 to 40% less efficient. It's definitely an inferior form of energy.
Okay, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They use 1 gallon of gasoline to make 1 gallon of ethanol that ends up running 25% less efficient. It's like, what is even the point?
The government can't leave well enough alone. Let the people decide what they want, but they don't let the people decide what they want. Put it down. Like a farmer's paid about $20 per acre of corn. Currently, we've spent $55 billion. Why do we need to give them $55 billion?
Corn is not the solution. Let's just get rid of that and move on. Like, that's really what needs to happen. We need to move on to like hydrogen or air.
The reality is that we're not supporting farmers, we're supporting millionaires. If you're a big farmer, you get huge benefits. And we only subsidize commodity crops, which ends up being corn, soy, and rice. We go to a grocery store, you buy potatoes and pineapple and apples.
And pine nuts.
These things are not subsidized. There's like a wide variety of produce. Corn is the largest subsidized crop in America. Why in the heck are we subsidizing high fructose corn syrup? There's so much oil to be found. And the reason people are not drilling for it is because they're like, oh, it's bad for the environment. We need to protect the environment. Oil spill that was the worst. People were going out and looking for the oil because they wanted to clean it up, and they're like,
they couldn't even find it.
It's gone. It was spilling like 200 million gallons an hour or something. But ethanol is green, it's eco-friendly, it's renewable. When you're farming, you're not supposed to farm the same crop every single year. Like 30% of America is like farmed corn land.
Right.
Just like look on either side of the road and you'll see corn growing everywhere. It's gigantic monstrosities. You're growing it every year and all the nutrients are being sucked out of the planet. You need to like basically drench it in nitrogen. It was estimated if we used 100% of the land in America that grows corn for ethanol production, you get 12% of the amount of gasoline that America uses a year. A lot of this now has been exported to other countries, and those countries are digging up more and more land. And if you're an environmentalist, it's called deforestation, which reduces CO2s and greenhouse gases, which I don't believe in any of these things. It burns cleaner and cooler, but it's like we weren't going to take into account at all like how we get there. Ethanol plants are a distillery, which has a byproduct, distiller's grain, which we're using to feed our animals. We'll make ethanol and we'll have zero waste because we'll just use everything that's garbage to feed our livestock.
It's called hush.
I saw a guy and he's like, and this is what the animals want. I'm like, really? Because if you send them out to pasture, that's not what they eat.
No.
The real cost of ethanol is unknown. There's actually like 5 layers of subsidies. It's estimated that they're subsidized up to $5 a gallon. E85 is about $2 at its lowest, but that would actually make it about $7 a gallon, which is about twice what we're paying for gasoline.
If it wasn't subsidized.
If it wasn't subsidized. That's the $16 trillion in our deficit that our country is somehow going to have to pay for in the future. Not only are we subsidizing it and mandating that they put 15 billion gallons, like it's called the 15 billion blend, but then there were people that chose to still sell ethanol, free gasoline. The government stepped in and they were like,
I don't like this.
we thought we could control people. Nope, now it's illegal. It's illegal to sell gasoline. It's mandated now. Gasoline has to have 10% ethanol in it. And I guess the next step is that we'll execute people that don't talk well about us on YouTube.
Ethanol is worse for the environment, gets you worse gas mileage, it destroys your vehicle, yet they feel like this is the better product, so let's force people to use it.
15%, like that's the next mandate that they're looking at, which would pretty much destroy any vehicle that was made before 1991. Like that's a fact.
Yeah.
They'll just put it in the gas and they'll be like, it's even more enriched now.
There's people that have like cars from the 50s and 60s and 70s. They won't even be able to drive them whatsoever.
There are places where you can buy ethanol-free gasoline.
Yeah.
It's illegal. It's like similar to selling raw milk.
You just advertise it as off-road use only.
People obviously are filling up their cars that they're intending to drive on-road.
Final thoughts.
There was actually one person, congressman, voted against mandating of ethanol. I think we need to like educate ourselves. We need to support them, and we need, when possible, to buy ethanol-free gasoline and support those people. We need to not just be sheeple. We need to like, we definitely should not be eating ethanol.
No.
The government owns the media, or the media owns the government. Somebody owns something.
One or the other.
You need to watch. You need to listen to. You need to listen to.
And
I mean, these are quality people, you know? Russia?
Like it's Japanese graffiti. We're signing off.
On the Harkin.
On the Harkin.
Final thoughts, I just... Did you get that? It was great footage.
No, I didn't. Wow. That is, dude, stop doing that. That is horrendous. Give me this.